Podcasting from the Chicagoland area, this is Game On with Jackson Stuart, where we discuss men's lifestyle, focusing on sex, fitness, relationships, business, and more. We'll be interviewing the best of the best, the hot shots, and the rising stars in the worlds of modeling, fitness, cooking, and more. Influencers who are discussing keeping it sexy while at the top of their game. I'm your host, Jackson Stuart. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the game. What if you could be a better player for the cost of one more cup of coffee a month? Get access to a growing library of lit erotica, behind-the-scenes action, and player's guides with tips on drinking, cooking, fitness, dating, sex, and life after dark. Low tier rate while offer lasts. Patreon.com, Game On with Jack. Keep it sexy and game on.
This is Dr. Kojo Sarfo, and you're listening to Game On with Jackson Stuart.
Hey folks, welcome to another episode of Game On with Jackson Stuart. And I'm your host, Jack, and always glad to have you guys here with me. Today we're going to be talking about hating the player, jealousy and weakness, and what it is and how to avoid it and all that good stuff. But first up, gotta let you guys know about some exciting stuff that's going on right now with the whole, Game On movement. We now have Game On with Jack.shop, S-H-O-P. That's where we're going to be holding workshops, classes. There's a free downloadable class right now. The building up confidence. I'm sorry, scratch it. It's a guys' night guide out is what's out right now. Sorry about that. GameOutJack.shop. You can go in and enroll for free right now. Go and enroll because new classes are going to be dropping soon. Great audiovisual content to help you level up. If you sign up now, discount codes are going to be available for people who sign up early. So it's free. Go there. Get your free guys' night out guide right now. Catch me on July 7th on the podcast, The Miseducation of Masculinity with Theodora Voss. We're talking about confidence. We're talking about what makes a man sexy. We're talking about all the good things. Theodora was a guest, I want to say maybe a month and a half ago, maybe 2 months. She was amazing. She knocked out the park. Definitely catch our interview that day. I know you will come away leveled up and better off for it. Jump over to GameOnWithJack.aweb, A-W-E-B as in boy, .page, and sign up for the new Game On with Jackson Stuart email list and receive the free 15 Confidence Commandments right now. As soon as you sign up, you'll get an email with a link to download that PDF. I think it's good stuff. I know it's good stuff because after all these shows, it still stands that the sexiest thing about a man is confidence. And if you feel like you're lacking in confidence, if you feel like your confidence is good, you can always use a little polishing. Sign up, GameOnWithJack.aweb.page, and you can get your guide to be even more confident than you are right now. Last but not least, get your subscription for Game On with Jack on Patreon, patreon.com/GameOnWithJack. 2 levels, the regular player level, then the player after dark. We've got quick to digest guides on leveling up on drinking, socializing, after dark activities. Y'all know what that means. So like I said, exciting stuff. Why wait? Finish listening to this podcast. Open up another window, sign up, get yours. So, all that having been said, here today talking about hating the player. And, hate the player, not the game. Actually looked it up, and here's the official definition as according to Google. The frustrations with a system or activity should be blamed on its weaknesses rather than on individuals who operate within it. Once again, the frustrations with a system or activity should be blamed on its weaknesses rather than on individuals who operate within it. So, broken down, it's when you cast resentment and animosity on someone who is doing better than you are in the same arena. I get it. I've done it. I have hated the player, and I am man enough to admit it. And I don't say that with any like pride and bravado. You know, I was not proud of it looking back, but yeah, I have hated the player. I have been in situations where, you know, John Smith was doing better than I was. Maybe he was getting more attention. Maybe he was getting more call outs, and I hated on his ass for it. When do you normally see these kind of events? You know, you're going to see them anytime you have men interacting, or anybody, it could be male or female, but you're going to have people interacting, and there is some level of potential tiers of acknowledgement. It could be at work. It could be a guy's night out. It could be a strip club. It could be a cam room. Anywhere where you've got a collection of people, and we'll stick it to guys because, you know, this is Game On. We're talking about men's lifestyle. Anytime you have a collection of guys in an environment where somebody can be acknowledged over another person, you're going to have player hating. And it's common, but I'm going to tell you right now, it's bad. Hating the player is bad because, I just want to keep saying hating, not hating. Hating the player is bad because it's about jealousy. And jealousy is about weakness. And weakness is negativity. And negativity sent out always circles back to you. And you're better than that. Hating the player is petty. It makes you less of a player yourself. Makes you less of a man. And that's not you. It breeds resentment. And it makes you less attractive. Who hates the player? Well, there's three types of guys that hate the player. Number one, the unevolved player. Someone who doesn't see that you can celebrate someone's achievements without diminishing your own. Second, you got the beta male. They're trying to move from slot 2 to slot 1 by tearing someone else down. And that's not cool. And then lastly, you've got angry alphas. In that moment, they're not top dog. In some moments, maybe they are. But right then and there, they're not, and they're pissed about it. When do you hate the player? When do you see this the most? Like I said, it's anytime you have a collection of men where there can be some type of tier or some type of some level of acknowledgement. Work, especially at meetings. God, at meetings, it happens a lot. You got maybe a meeting, you've got multiple department heads or members of a team coming together. They're going through everybody's achievements, and one person starts to get more praise than another. Somebody's going to sit back, and don't get me wrong, player haters can be really good guys, nice, normal, decent, uplifting guys, but in that moment, something's striking them in this meeting where they're like, man, fuck John. They're always talking about how great he is. What about my shit? Sometimes he's late with stuff, and that's the thought process going through somebody's head. Strip club, hot dancer up on stage, giving more attention to a guy who's getting more dances. And maybe you're throwing the same. You're throwing the same amount of singles, but for some reason, this guy is getting the attention. It's pissing you off, and you're starting to feel neglected, left behind, and you're hating the player. At a bar, especially, a guy's night out. Excuse me, allergies, people, allergies. Jack got some allergies. You're trying to get the bartender's attention. Maybe you're trying to get the waitress's attention, and or waiter. Whatever. And it just seems like one guy is getting like all of the establishment's focus. He's getting the laughs. Maybe he's getting a free shot on the side. Maybe he's getting a taller drink, but getting charged different. You just see that somebody is getting more than what you are. And, is it possible that's true? Yeah. Somebody could be getting undue attention and you're getting less attention for the same amount of activities. Maybe it's their vibe. Maybe they have a connection with the person who's there already. Like, maybe this dancer has danced with them before and really has a click with them, and you're new and you're maybe tipping more or whatever, but she knows this guy a little bit. So yeah, it could be that there is actually this type of favoritism or attention imbalance going on. But even still, hating the player is a bad thing. How do you hate the player? Well, number one, you talk shit. At a meeting, at work, you're talking shit about somebody after the meeting, behind their back. Maybe it's all just in your head, but you're still talking crap about them. You give them no props. They're kicking ass, they're doing good work, but you refuse to acknowledge it. You refuse to say, hey, good job, or way to go, or whatever. You clam up, you tighten up, and you won't put a spotlight or add to the attention that you're pissed off that they're getting. Lastly, and this is so bad, you're looking for mistakes, ways to shoot them down. You're trying to deflate who they are. You're trying to, take them down a peg. And, none of this is good, like I've said before. Why do you hate the player? 4 reasons. Real talk, you got low self-esteem. Maybe not all the time, but right then, that moment, you have low self-esteem. This person represents where you feel you're coming up short. Maybe you don't, maybe you feel like you're not making enough money. You go out and you see this person throwing like fat tips. You're pissed about it. Maybe you feel like you're not that great at, those TS reports. They're turning theirs in. They're getting accolades. Emails from the boss are going all over the business about, or the organization about how great their TS reports are. It lights up an internal spotlight on where you think you're failing. Second reason, you think the limelight they're getting that you're not is only accessible their way. Like, you feel like there's one road to the attention, to the success that they're getting, and you feel like they're blocking it. 3, you're not looking at your own winning, your own successes. You're focusing on their stuff, not yours. And lastly, and we've talked about this a lot on the show, you're not practicing gratitude. You're not thankful for, and this doesn't mean all the time, but in that moment, you're not thankful for what you can pull off, what you can do. And that goes back to looking at your successes and your winnings. So how do you stop hating the player? I like to say that you need to use the Game On PHCS, the player hating coping system. I like that. Just some simple steps to kind of get your mind right when you're feeling this moment. Think about the origin of the hate. It's about the fact you feel like you're coming up short. It's self-hate, it's jealousy, it's pettiness. Once you put those really horrible terms on what you feel, I guarantee you're going to feel some shame about it, and you're going to want to cut that shit out. As tough as it might be, celebrate their successes. You know why? Because that's positive energy. You put that out, it comes back to you. That doesn't mean you gotta, be fake about it or phony about it or throw them a parade. But if somebody does a good job, they do a good job. Whether you think it's, they're always in the limelight or not. Like, give credit where credit's due. Now, on the flip side, as you're celebrating their successes, celebrate your own. Don't forget the cool shit that you pull off. Yeah, maybe you don't do great TS reports at work, but maybe your databasing skills are like phenomenal. And you don't have to bring it up at the moment like, well, so-and-so does great reports, but what about my database? No. Go back to your desk, read some emails, some attaboys that you've gotten, mentally pump yourself back up. Because that's what's going on. You're putting the focus on their, getting patted on the head and not the times when you've been in the limelight. Learn from their style. Adopt something, but don't copy it. Everybody's got something to teach you. Maybe it's they have a sense of humor that you've never tried to, develop on your own. You never tried to develop your sense of humor. Take a look at it. If they're funny and they can hold court and bring people into their circle, give yours a shot. Boost up your own sense of humor. Maybe it's how they dress. Now that doesn't mean wear the same damn suit tomorrow that they got on today, but maybe if they wear a suit and you don't wear a suit, every once in a while bust a suit out. Like, learn from their style. Find what works for you and pull it in. If you're feeling like, just this overwhelming sense to hate on somebody, talk to somebody you trust. Get the shit out of your system. And if it's somebody you trust and they're good people for you, they'll check your shit and they'll say, hey man, stop hating. Like, knock it off. You're better than this. And finally, repeat all those as needed, because we've all been there. I've hated on players, and I've had to have people say, Jack, calm the fuck down. Like, this ain't you. You're better than this. And you'd be surprised. Once you stop hating on somebody, and you focus on your own thing, your vibe just changes. And we could say it's attraction, law of attraction is what you focus on, you get, or some people could say your demeanor changes. So, I was at a club once, a dancer was giving this guy more attention. I was getting kind of pissed about it. And I wasn't saying nothing, but I could tell I was hating on this guy. And I had to check myself inside. I was like, man, come on, you're better than this. So I changed my vibe. I think at some point I was even by the guy and I was like, man, dude, she's into you. Like, congrats. And we were cool. And the next thing I know, she's all over me. So, just, you have to take a step back, acknowledge it. It's going to happen to all of us, and pull back on that negativity. It's jealousy. It's weakness. God, it's so weak. And if confidence is the sexiest thing about a man, and it is, then what's the opposite of confidence? Being weak. And I'm not talking about physically weak. I'm talking about internally weak, low self-esteem. And that is a huge turnoff to anybody who you would want to have interested in you. So, quick recap. Hating the player, bad thing. Why do we do it? Jealousy, low self-esteem, self-hate. We shouldn't do it because it makes us less of a player. It breeds resentment, makes us appear, and actually makes us less attractive. The I keep saying this right, not the uninvolved, the unevolved or the de-evolved player falls for this every time. Don't be that person. You're better than that. You can hate the player anywhere, but especially in places where guys gather. And there is a potential for some tier levels of attention. Work, strip club, bar, restaurant, hell, family picnic. Grandma's always liked you more. How do you hate the player? You talk shit. You don't give them props. You look for ways to tear them down. And how do you stop hating the player? Well, you use the Game On PHCS player hating coping system. Think about where it's coming from, the hate. Celebrate their successes and celebrate yours. Learn from their style. Talk to somebody you trust. Repeat as needed. Now, good people, one more time, don't forget you can go to gameonwithjack.shop and enroll free right now for classes and workshops. We've got a free Guys Night Out class that you can jump into and check out and enjoy. Catch me on July 7th on the Miseducation of Masculinity podcast with the amazing and insightful Theodora Voss. Sign up for the new Game On with Jackson Stuart email list and receive the free 15 confidence Commandments now. That's gameonwithjack.aweb.page, AWEB as in boy, and subscribe right now and at patreon.com/gameonwithjack. Get your game guides today as soon as you sign up. And the email list, we're going to be releasing exciting things, so get on board. It's free to join. You will not regret it. Thank you guys so much, and we'll talk to you soon. Keep it sexy.